So whilst we've got the opportunity to have both of these turbos off a car, which we've very kindly pinched the original turbos from next door that are getting replaced with this K04 set, we figured this would be a great opportunity for us to talk through to all of our customers what the difference is between a K03 setup that comes on a base model Carrera and an S Carrera versus a K04 setup that's found on the GTS. Now, aside from the obvious benefits of power, which I'm going to explain where that comes from now, you've got some other things that are much more robust in a K04 turbo. So starting with this K03 kit, essentially, I mean, this is very rotten given it's only done 18,000 miles, but the first thing that's really obvious is the size of the compressor wheel. Now, the difference between a base model K03, which is what this is, and a Carrera S K03 turbo is Porsche replaced this compressor wheel with a slightly bigger version. That just allows for more airflow and ultimately creates more power. Now, Steve will put some B-roll in so you can see inside. So you've got the smaller compressor wheel, and as a result of that you can see that the shaft system is much smaller when we compare this to a K04. So we're talking solely about the compressor side right now. So I'm going to take this K04, which is a new unit that's going to be going on in place of this, and as you can see straight away, we've got a much bigger compressor wheel in the K04. This will flow a much higher volume of air and ultimately create more boost pressure. And at lower boost pressure, because it's flowing more air, we could essentially run this at a lower boost pressure than this car and still achieve the same power figures. On top of that, you've got a much thicker shaft assembly. Now, to be able to run bigger wheels and a thicker shaft assembly, what you need is a much more robust core assembly, which is the center of the turbo here. So without stripping the turbos down, which for the sake of this video isn't really necessary, because I can show you the differences via the top parts of the turbo, ultimately what you've got here is a thicker shaft assembly to compensate for the fact that the compressor wheel is bigger. Now, to handle that, you need bigger bearing system and a more robust bearing system, which means we need to change the core assembly in the middle to house those bigger bearing systems. So that's been done on the K04. So again, another great upgrade over a standard K03, because not only is it stronger, but it can produce better power figures. Finally, what we're going to touch on is the turbine wheel. Now, this turbine housing is exactly the same between a K03 assembly and a K04. The difference here is that BorgWarner have made the profile of the turbine wheel bigger, which again allows us to flow more exhaust gas. So if we can get the exhaust gas out quicker, spool the turbo up and produce much higher volume of airflow, that means that we've got quicker exhaust gas getting out and we've got more airflow going in. At the same boost pressure, we should achieve much higher power. So that's where the main differences lie. On the newer models, you can also see here where the actuator assembly is. There's a heat shield in here. Now, this is something that we've seen on the 718 Caymans and Boxsters quite a lot, and we've posted about this. On this old K03 that you can see here, it's an open assembly. There's no heat shielding on it. What tends to happen is this starts to get grimy, it fatigues with heat, and then it starts to stick in the slightly open position. What that means is it won't make peak boost pressure, so it'll be trying to hit its target boost pressure, and therefore could overspeed the turbo and ultimately make the car feel extremely lazy, and it's not going to necessarily make its peak power figures. Porsche have obviously identified this and created this part here, which is a heat shielding and also keeps grime out of this sort of assembly here. So as a result of that, in terms of a power upgrade, it's fantastic. From a robust point of view, it's a really, really great upgrade. For somebody to be able to go from 380 horsepower, which is what that is standard, by bolting just this turbo on, there's no requirement for upgraded hardware, because everything is the same on the car side, it's just the turbocharger. By upgrading to this, I mean, as everybody's well aware, a GTS makes 450 horsepower straight from factory, so we can literally take this turbo, bolt it on and apply GTS settings without any additional tuning, and you're going to pick up the best part of 70 horsepower. Go one step further than that and apply our stage 1 software to this car. On top of the 380 horsepower, you're then going to finish up with somewhere between 550 and 570 horsepower without any additional hardware. So I'm pretty confident everybody agrees that that's a massive upgrade. So finally, the last thing I'm going to touch on, which is a massive problem for everybody with a 991 Gen 2 3 litre T, is the breather system. Now this is the opposite bank. I do actually have the, or is it? Yes, this is the oh no, this is the correct bank. So as you can see, these two ports here, what actually happens on this port here is that the engine breather goes back into here. It's a design which I'm not too sure why they've done that. It must be some sort of Euro emissions or something. So what you have is an oil air separator. So the oil mist comes out of the engine, it goes into an oil air separator, which then feeds back down and into this port here, which goes directly into the compressor side of the turbo. Terrible idea, particularly on something where the turbos are very low, so the gravity fed with oil naturally, so they tend to sit in a pool of oil, which is why you sometimes see smoke when you crack the car up. However, what's happening is, and we're seeing this a lot, we're selling more, I'm going to call it a right-hand side turbo, because obviously you've got left and right-hand drive cars, but certainly in the UK, driver's side turbo, which is this one, is the one that's failing more commonly. And it's as a result of the oil vapour being pumped straight back into here, and it's coating the internals of the bearing system, it's coating the compressor wheel, and it's putting the turbo, especially when cold, under duress, as a result of pulled oil inside there. So that's what's creating this big problem that everybody's talking about on the 3 litre T platform. There isn't a total fix for this. However, what we've seen as a real benefit on our car, because we've had this, is by putting a catch can system in place that you just empty out every 3, 4, 5 weeks, depends how much usage the car gets. But ultimately, using a catch can system that goes between the oil air separator and this turbo, sits somewhere in the middle, what happens is as it goes into the catch can, the oil formates in the catch can and sits there rather than putting it all into the turbo. Now you can't completely stop oil from getting into this turbo, but by halving it or whatever it does, you're obviously extending its life. So ultimately, once every 5 weeks, you're just going to have to go and empty the catch can out. That's far, far better and much cheaper than having to replace this turbocharger on whatever period it decides to break down. But ultimately, that turbo at some point for every single car is going to give up.